The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you a film fan who loves the ultimate home video experience? Look no further than The Disconnected. Your host, Ryan Verrill, is your go-to source for the latest and most accurate information on home video releases, exclusive interviews with industry insiders and filmmakers, and has established a thriving community where every film and physical media enthusiast feels welcome. From hidden gems to blockbuster hits, The Disconnected brings you insider knowledge and a welcoming space to share your love of cinema. Watch every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the live announcements show and follow The Disconnected on social media to stay updated. Subscribe to The Disconnected on YouTube or on the podcast provider of your choice and dive into a world where every movie night is an adventure.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Welcome back to the Life and Times of Captain Barney Miller podcast. I'm your host, Mike White. Joining me, of course, is the rookie, Mr. Chris Dashew.
Oh, no. Boy, that nickname has nothing to do with what we're about to talk about, and I am so sad that is the case.
Yes, we're doing it, folks. We're taking one episode. That's all we can handle. One episode, we're going to be talking about the 2 seasons, season and a half of Fish, the spin-off of Barney Miller. We figured we had to talk about it. We're taking a bullet for you people here.
Well, and here's the thing. We had talked about this a lot. I mean, we've mentioned it with Otto. We've mentioned it with Richard. We've talked about this idea of let's cover this at some point, but we knew it was going to be hard, if not impossible, to find. And it is impossible to find. I believe a generous fan or Redditor, or what was this on? You found this, right? You found the files, but somebody sent them to you? Someone sent something to us at one point, right?
One of our listeners told me where we could get these files because it was available on, so the first season, just so people know, total clarity, first season is part of the DVD box set of Barney Miller. When they reissue this thing on Blu-ray, I'm not sure if they'll include Fish. I'm not sure if they'll include both seasons of Fish, but
I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Well, yeah, but especially since they I don't know if they remastered.
But it's one of those comprehensive type things. Yeah. I mean, if it's because Shout Factory is the one who put the series out, so I feel like if they were to do like a up convert of the show, it might be something worth just ephemera having on the disc.
Maybe. Yeah, but I don't think that this one is worth the juice is not worth the squeeze, let's say.
No.
So continuing on, we got I found 2 episodes through a torrent site, and it was tough to get those to download. Finally got them. One of our listeners said, hey, you can get this via a Canadian site. They stream these episodes. So I tried to download stuff from there, was unable to. And then one day I just happened to find that both seasons were available as a torrent and got those. And I don't know why. I don't know how they came up with the second season. And second season, I will say there's no little icon in the corner. It's not like they were taped off of TV or something.
Spotlights, baby. Are you a fan?
No, none of that stuff.
That's my favorite. Are you a winner?
Not like that copy of Long Legs I just downloaded. But yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, literally.
Though, yeah, I didn't watch every single episode because, my God.
because you don't have, best I can tell, penises and heads in your freezer. That's why.
It's wild how bad this is. So 2 seasons. Fish, we've talked about it. We've theorized about this. We have the 2 young kids that he had on Barney Miller. For 2 episodes, we saw these guys. It was Victor and
Kreutzer and Jilly.
That's right.
The one who gets knocked up off screen as a 16-year-old, which is a very dark ending to this story.
Very. Yeah. John Cassini, not my favorite actor. He looks like a little mobster guy.
What are you talking about? Hey, I'm a little gangster. What are you talking about? Hey, yo, oh.
And both of the girls did, Jilly and what's the other one? Diane. They're basically the same character. Like, there's no difference between these. Like, there's one episode that I was watching where Jilly comes down and she's just like, what are you doing? You wearing my shirt? And then the other one's like, well, it looks better on me. And I'm like, oh my God, these 2 are the same person.
And then John Cassisi's in the background just going,
hey, yo. I'm gonna go. What are you doing, little Todd Bridges as Loomis? What? I'm gonna be so funny with you. We're gonna trade lines here. Oh God.
Yeah. Dear.
And then
dear.
Todd Bridges just screams the entire time, like every single line, and it all has to be racial stuff. It's all like, my people are being persecuted, man. What are you talking about? That's why I'm in a gang. I'm 9 years old and I'm in a gang already. I'm like, whoa, kid.
Yeah. I don't. So here's the thing. I don't understand what in God's name they were thinking with this premise. This premise is without a doubt one of the biggest missteps I've ever seen in terms of pairing a character with a situation, like just base situation that makes sense. Like, I think of something like the George Lopez show where he's essentially playing himself, right? He's playing himself. He goes and works in like a warehouse, like an automotive warehouse, but he's playing himself. So it kind of writes itself. It makes sense. If it was George Lopez as the pilot of an airliner in the 50s, and that's the TV show, it'd be like, this is like some sort of weird thing that makes no sense. And this is that exact setting. Why would you take Fish and put him as a owner of a halfway house for wayward teens? What in God's name about Fish in Barney Miller signaled to anybody this guy needs to be around children as a base premise for the show? Because, dear God in heaven, this was a really bad choice. The premise alone is an affront to good sensibility. And I will tell you, this is one of the most unfunny things I've ever seen. Like, unfunny, like we've talked about this before, like comedies are really hard to talk about because for the most part, it's like, hey, remember that one part? And then we quote it. Remember that? Like when we did Caddyshack, it was like us quoting the movie for like 30 minutes is what it felt like. Comedies are hard to talk about, but bad comedies are easy to talk about because bad comedies, I think, are the worst kind of movie. A comedy that's bad is just the worst because it's like with something like Modern Problems, which we covered on our Chevy Chase podcast. When a movie is so unfunny, it's like having your teeth filed down with this fucking rusty spoon. There's just nothing enjoyable about a bad comedy. And what makes it worse, in this show's case, they put a laugh track in. Like, fuck you guys. Fuck off. It's not even funny. There's no laugh. Like, the laughter that's being injected here is fucking fake on top of everything else, because none of this shit is funny. It's not even chuckle worthy. It's not funny. There's nothing funny about this premise because Abe Vigoda is so one note. Like, his character was one note in Barney Miller, and now it's like the character's been exposed as like it's just a one note character that has no part in his own show.
No, he seems like he doesn't want to be here, which makes it very tough. I mean, like, yeah, I would say like Archie Bunker was a miserable human being, but he was in his place. He had his chair. He had his television. He had Edith to get him beers. He had Gloria to control. He had that numbskull meathead to just, deride the entire time. He was having an okay time. Meanwhile, Phil Fish is just like, I'm miserable at work. I'm miserable at home. Every joke that I tell is going to be about how miserable I am. I'm not going to be able to get into the bathroom because, yes, we're still doing the bathroom humor with him. I mean, he basically is like a cameo player on his own show a lot of times. He just comes in to be like, I hate everything. And that's it. It's like, okay. And then these kids, I don't want to follow these kids at all. Even Lenny Barry as Mike, who I think is supposed to be the attractive one, I guess. Like
the Fonzie? The Fonzie? The Fonz like, standing?
He's more like the Greg Brady, Oh,
I thought he was just Fonzie adjacent or attempted Fonzie adjacent. Like, oh, I'm a cool guy. Hey, I'm gonna steal a car. Hey,
he's not even Chachi. Come on. Yeah, and all these kids, they suck. Like, Lenny
they suck hard.
Car. They think that Victor's burning down a house a couple of doors down. They think he's a pyromaniac. I'm just like, and the person. This is the worst character for me of all of them. Barry Gordon as Charlie. He is I guess he's a social worker who is living in the house with them, which is a weird thing as well. And he is terrible.
Or depending on how you look at it, very hot. Phil Fish. Oh, yeah. I wish I could do a Woody Allen. I can't.
That's what he's
doing. Yeah.
Well, with the thing, Mr. Fish, you need to give the kids some room to breathe here. And I'm like,
they're kids. They're just normal kids. Oh,
it must have been surreal for you because doesn't he do one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle voices?
He does. He does the voice of Donatello, my favorite turtle, too, on top of everything else. So when I heard him for the first time, I was like, oh, oh no. My favorite turtle is in this awful show as a Woody Allen impersonator. Like, what is going on in this fucking show? It's a mishmash of all these weird 70s isms that don't work. And then once you get to the second season, all the kids are like 10, all of a sudden they're like 10 years older. Like, it looks like they're all of a sudden like they've all been aged up 10 years because John Cassisi is now an adult. Todd Bridges looks like, and they all look like adults all of a sudden. And then the second season somehow worse than the first season. The episodes I watched in the second season are worse than the episodes in the first season. Because in the first season, at least they're somewhat cute, precocious kids. Now they're like shithead teenagers.
Well, and it's not like a lot of time passed between these seasons because this whole thing lasted from February 5th, 77 to May 18th, 78. So it's like 14 months, and like I said, this was a season and a half. So the first season was 13 episodes, I think, and the second one was 22. There were 35 episodes altogether. Maybe they had these things shot a little earlier than they put them out or something.
That's what it looks like.
I noticed how those kids age up, and I was just like, whoa, how does this happen over basically a summer,
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like, Todd Bridges and John Cassisi look like fucking adults all of a sudden. And look, again, it doesn't help any of this because because again, this show is so hard to talk about. I was thinking about this while I was watching it. I wanted to ask you as kind of a fun aside here, something we've never done. I wanted to ask you, in comparison to this idea, take another character from Barney Miller and put them in another sitcom like this that would be as bad. I want to hear what you would come up with as like the next worst thing, because this is pretty bad. Like this premise is so fucking faulted from the front that I can't understand how this made it past the drawing room board. Like for real. Because like this premise is so bad. It's shockingly bad just on the face of it. Even the idea that Fish has to spend time around Bernice is a bad idea, given the way that they interacted in the actual original show. Like I would never have watched the original show and go, oh yeah, I want to see more of Bernice and Fish together. Like, Jesus Christ, what?
Yeah. And poor Florence Stanley, she's the best part of this whole show.
Correct, 100%.
She's the best part of a really bad show. I mean, she deserves so much better than what this show is. And yeah, as far as oh gosh, I can't even imagine, because I'm trying to think of like all the bad spin-offs that happened, like taking Enos out of the Dukes of Hazzard and giving him his own show was a really bad mistake. I'm trying to think of some of the other like weirdo, like Jody Loves Chachi.
What if it was like a Scanlan show?
Oh my God. Well, yeah. And it's not Scanlan in this one, but that actor does show up in here.
Yeah.
And like so many of these actors are from Barney Miller. Even, oh God, I'm blanking on his name already. Barry Gordon also, showed up in an episode of Barney Miller. So it's like they took all of these actors that had been on the show and just said, oh, we're going to place you in this new show. You're going to be, so happy to be in Fish.
Shooting right down the block from Barney Miller, I'm sure, like, shooting on one sound stage over. Yeah, I was trying to think about what would be an equally flawed and absurd and I guess just not great premise. Like, I would have to think anything with like, I don't know. Like, something with Scanlan would feel like a pretty dumb idea in terms of like, why would anyone do it? I mean, like, I obviously, Gregory Sierra got his own show spun off. I mean, not from Barney Miller, but I mean, it ends up being kind of Barney Miller adjacent because it's what like it's like an ambulance show, right? Like it's
right. Yeah, I think it's a hospital show, and then Danny Arnold produced it. I want to say.
Yeah. So like a Jack Sue spinoff show would have been like a really bad idea, or like even a Wojciech Howitz show. I mean, obviously, that's probably it. Like Wojciech Howitz's own show. That was a thing that we also had to see. I don't know. Is this or that worse? Is this worse or is that worse?
Oh gosh. I mean, we talked about how unfunny it was. I mean, at least the Wojo thing was only 2 episodes and this is 35.
Yeah, this was a lot of money spent by somebody to make this fucking show. And then
I don't even understand how it got picked up for a second season. The first season was so bad.
Maybe it was a contractual obligation thing. Maybe that's what was ordered was 2 seasons. I don't know. Like, that's the thing about this show. It's one of those shows that's kind of lost on top of everything else. Like, there's an entire season of the show that you really can't find anywhere. And so, I mean, again, is it unfortunate that this show is really bad? No, because you've already alluded to plenty of spin-off shows from the 70s and 80s that are spin-off shows from characters from shows that are good, and then the varying degrees of success that is had beyond that. Like, at the end of the day, this was a thing that they were doing, like, all the time. And some of them worked, and some of them didn't. And I don't have enough knowledge to say more worked than didn't or either way, but I will say this one does not work.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's interesting to look at the history of television in the 70s and see which shows were spinoffs of other shows. Like Norman Lear had a real touch for that. So, some shows that people wouldn't even think that they were spinoffs, like Maude or The Jeffersons or, Archie Bunker's Place. That makes a lot of sense. But there were Gloria spun off of that. But like Gloria wasn't that good. Maude was fucking fantastic. The Jeffersons was what it was. I mean, there were some good ones and some bad ones. When you think that like Mork and Mindy spun off of Happy Days, and Laverne and Shirley, and I'm sure.
Was it Happy Days a spinoff?
No, Happy Days was kind of like it was almost a pilot from Love American Style, because they did that one episode that was somewhat similar, but not 100%. But yeah, it was pretty much like almost a secret pilot inside of Love American Style.
Well, and you know, I looked at some lists of some shows because again, I'm a little younger than you, obviously, and I don't know all of them. But looking through the lists, like a lot of these shows are spinning off from things that are really famous, like you said, Happy Days. I guess not I Love Lucy, but I mean, I guess technically Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah, All in the Family, like you said. I mean,
gosh.
Barnaby Jones even is technically a spin-off show from canon, like. You know.
I mean, yeah, Mary Tyler Moore, she spun off Rhoda, which was a success in itself. Phyllis, which wasn't that successful. I guess Lou Grant, you could say, is a spin-off of it.
Technically, it is, yeah.
Different tone to it.
Well, so is this, though, right? Like, that's the thing about this show versus Fish versus Barney Miller. This show's tone is fucking weird on top of everything else. I don't understand the tone of this show because it's not funny. I don't understand how it could be this unfunny. And I think, you know, we've always heard this, you know, the gag of like, you never work with kids and you never work with animals. Yeah. This is why. I genuinely think this is why. This show is so loaded with kids that it's and the kids are so unfunny that this is why you don't have a children's show with adults.
I mean, it does remind me a little bit of the Brady Bunch, but if the Brady kids were all fellas, you know, like if I didn't give a shit about any of those kids and really only wanted to see Mrs. Brady and Alice, that's like the only characters I cared about. It'd basically be this, like, and if I openly hated all of the Brady kids, I guess is the other thing.
Yeah, they're really poor. I mean, the problem is they're really poorly written. All the kids are really poorly written. They're all really obnoxious. Like, there's nothing likable about any of the child characters in this show. And that is a shame because we spend, like you've already alluded to, so much time with them. They're the main characters of this show that's called Fish.
Yeah.
Like, what in God's name? What are they thinking?
It's interesting that in the first episode, they're just moving into this house and they're talking about how they, you know, Fish wants to go back to his apartment, and then Bernice moves all the furniture over. And it's just a huge mess. And I kept wondering, like, is this going to be a mess for the entire season? No, it's not. But the house is just dingy and nasty kind of thing. But yeah, we start off almost every single episode with the kids and then getting into trouble. It's really bizarre. There is a one episode where Dietrich shows up, and he is so unfunny in this episode. He's just there to react against stuff, and he doesn't have that many good lines. And it's like, what are you guys doing not writing right for Landisberg? Like, he is one of the funniest characters. As we've said, there's an episode, season 1, episode 10, and it says Hal Linden is in this episode. I watched it. It's literally Bernice calling Barney, and you just cut to him in his office. I think he says like 2 lines and hangs up the phone and then gives this like little funny look. That's it. Like, that's the tie to Hal Linden in this entire series. It's crazy.
Yeah, that I saw that as well. And what in God's name? I mean, it's one thing to have your show with a spinoff show not be great, but it's another thing to then bring characters from the original show in and have them be unlike the versions of the characters that they're portraying in that original show. Like, what? I mean, if anything, and this is honest to God, I think if anyone listening to this wants to embark on this journey with us that we've gone on to watch some of this show, I think if anything, this show gives me a better appreciation for fucking how well written Barney Miller is. Because this show is one of the worst written sitcoms I've ever seen. It's criminal. I mean, again, it's criminally unfunny. And a sitcom being criminally unfunny and getting 2 seasons is, it's shocking and a bit much. So, yeah. And again, having the characters from Barney Miller show up, the Landisberg thing, I think for me is the worst affront because he actually shows up. It's not just like a cutaway that they filmed on the set of Barney Miller, which is just, I mean, frankly, the funniest fucking thing. Like, I hope Hal made SAG minimum for that day because he deserved it. Because that shit's hilarious. Like, yeah, I was wondering what it was going to be, and the fact that Landisberg showed up, like, kudos to him. Maybe it was like a contractually obligated thing. I hope he got paid well for it. But yeah, Hal Linden really, what's the term? Phoning it in.
Literally.
Literally. I don't blame him.
No.
I mean, look, like, we have not gotten a chance to speak to either Hal Linden or Max Gale. I'm sure if we got a chance to talk to them, we would ask them, about this show and, just mention it. And I don't presume to know their feelings, but I think they would have to know this show isn't good. Like,
oh yeah.
Maybe thankfully Hal Linden was lucky enough to not have to be on it very much is kind of what it feels like.
I mean, it's not like they're not trying. I mean, it's just they're trying, but it misses every single time. All of these jokes miss. The pathos misses. I don't care about any of these people. And by this point, I don't care about Fish. Like I said, I just care about Bernice, and that's it. I'm like, yeah, Bernice, leave this guy. Like get out of here. Maybe take the kids and go because you seem to enjoy them. But I don't know. It just feels like she deserves a better life. I feel like I should have one of those mind eraser things from Men in Black and give that whole like speech to Edgar's wife. Just like go out, enjoy yourself, get a makeover, and clean up this house because damn.
Yeah, get yourself a nice piece of ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fish is a miserable sack of shit. And that's the other thing that I think, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think this is probably the opportunity now, I think, too, since this I think is literally the last time we're ever going to really talk about him on our Barney Miller show that we've been doing. This also, I think, reinforced to me how glad I am that Abe Vigoda has been gone from Barney Miller for as long as he has been, because this show, whenever he is on screen, the show is worse for it.
Yeah. Which is so strange because we liked him so much at first,
but his character's one note, and that note is just like played over and over and over and over again. This show, like you said, it's always the same note. He's always doing the same thing. It's always the same reaction. It's like, how can this be the case? How can this have been the way this show was written? This character has no emotional range whatsoever. And even the moments where they attempt to do it are completely undercut because Abe Vigoda is not believable. He's too curmudgeon-y and written into a corner as a character at this point for it to be anything other than this one note played over and over again, over everything else. Nothing else is really harmonizing, but it's a discordant tone that you can hear every time he shows up because he drags the show down with his miserable energy.
And like every episode of Barney Miller, well, I think they do a fade out quite a bit, but I want to say that there's a lot of like freeze frames at the end, and Abe Vigoda just telegraphs the freeze frame so much. He'll like put his hand on a balustrade or something and just be like, and like take a big breath and let it out, and then boom, the freeze frame happens. And I'm just like, are you that lazy that you have to prep yourself for the freeze frame here? Like, is this supposed to be funny? The very end shot is you just harumphing and then freeze frame, but that's how they end a lot of these episodes. And like, they don't even know how to end the episodes. There's a lot of times where I'm like, well, you didn't even resolve the situation.
Yeah, well, and that is to your point, that is the other thing about this show that really is hard to deal with, is that the stories go nowhere. And they're so one note and samey that, yeah, it is just these kids getting in trouble. Okay, these kids getting in trouble. Okay, like, how is that it? Mm-hmm. How can that be it? Like, how can that be all this show is for 36 episodes? And that's the biggest crime here, is like it honestly, because I watched 4 or 5 episodes, like all the episodes felt the same. Even the ones that had the Barney Miller characters in them are just, these kids are little shitheads and you don't want to be around them and you're forced to be around them. And that feels like a bad enough punishment as it is. But then Fish shows up and drags it further down because he's just as miserable as the kids are.
Well, it's funny to me because we just watched the episode where Fish comes back. I think that was the last posted episode we had, was him coming back. And like you said, finding out that Jilly had gotten pregnant and married the baby's father. And then to find out that Victor got arrested for assault and battery. I'm like, okay, great. Your influence was really positive on them, Fish. Like, why did you even bother to run this halfway house? And then apparently for fans of the show, please tell me that there are fans of the show. I mean, every show, every movie has a fan out there, right? Like
Someone's
somebody's
favorite productions.
Yeah.
Someone's favorite productions, baby. Our friend Ryan, he put it out there into the world that that's the case, and I'd be inclined to agree with him. That person who loves this show, good on you, but
yeah,
why?
But, you know, that means that people out there are just like, well, what happened to Mike Loomis and Diane? You know, who cares?
Yeah, that's the response. Where is Todd Bridges? Homeless on the street?
No, he and his little brother got picked up by another white guy, and they're living in a deluxe apartment on the east side.
Are they having good times?
Yes, they are.
Are they
having some different strokes?
Is that what it is? I don't.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know which show he's from. Again, being a little younger than you, those are shows I've never seen. Is that the one with Willis?
He was Willis. Yes.
He is Willis.
He's the one that constantly is being questioned about what he is talking about.
By Mr. Gary Coleman, the Galaxy of Prawns.
Yes.
God, yeah. And I honestly, you mentioned Bernice being the best part of the show. I think Todd Bridges is okay.
He's all right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how young he is at this point. This was 77, 78, and he was born in 65. Wow, 65.
12 years old, 12, 13.
Okay. Yeah, a little older than I thought he was. I thought he was like 8, 9 years old.
It's a pituitary thing.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
He just has it a little, while Gary Coleman had it a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, like in the season 2, Todd Bridges looks like a fucking adult, so...
Yeah.
And John Cassisi looks like a man in the second it's worse. Like John Cassisi, like again, you already mentioned it, like he's like a little gangster child, and then he becomes just like an insufferable, like street dickhead teenager, and it's like, okay. Yeah, I don't know if they were just like casting call for the most unlikable people possible, but it's kind of what it feels like. Unlikable and unremarkable. And man, on top of everything else, the intro to the show, how heartwarming. How heartwarming. Abe Vigoda standing in the doorway, just acting fucking annoyed, being passed by all the kids. Like, cool. And then it's just like shots of him like eating shit and just being mad. It's so good. It's just, if you don't want to watch the show, just watch the credits for the show and you will get an entire idea of what this fucking show is. And you never even have to hear a line of dialogue, which... honestly, seems like a plus, especially in Barry Gordon's case.
John Cassisi was at one point, this is according to the IMDb trivia, so take it with a grain of salt, was at one point the director of global construction for City Realty Services, the Citigroup unit that manages its offices and branches. The next trivia item, December 2015, sentenced to 2 to 6 years in prison for money laundering and bribery.
Yeah, he's a gangster, dude. Like,
he totally is.
He is. Yeah, I actually knew about that because when we did the Bugsy Malone episode on the Culture Cast, I think I brought that up because I was like, this guy's like a real life mobster dude. Like, okay.
It's so funny to look at his filmography because Bugsy Malone, like you said, Barney Miller, Kentucky Fried Movie, he makes an uncredited appearance, Fish, of course, and then a TV movie from 1982 called Gemini, which also stars, or really the star of it, is Scott Baio. So it's like he tied his star to Scott Baio for a little while, which is a bad idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, Scott Baio is definitely not even the best part of Bugsy Malone, so...
That's true.
Yeah, there's a little known actress in there named Jodie Foster. You might have heard of her. Yeah. Wonder what she's up to right now. What's she doing these days? Not doing much, I'm sure, right? Yeah, it's John Cassisi. Yeah, I think the worst part about this show actually is John Cassisi, which is unfortunate. Like he works so well in Bugsy Malone, but that's because Bugsy Malone is like exactly the kind of movie that a character actor who looks like him and talks like him would benefit from. It might be some of the most perfect casting I've ever seen, frankly, in Bugsy Malone. He's one of the best parts of that movie. He's better than Scott Baio is in that movie, 100%. He makes an impression in that movie. John Cassisi does. However, that character and that performance does not work here at all. And again, he just comes off as this like unlikable shithead street kid. In Bugsy Malone, you fully believe that he's like a little mob boss shithead street kid.
Well, I can see him getting into construction for Citibank, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, right? Jesus. Hey, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I mean, he was convicted, but, as we all know, convictions don't matter. So
No, you can just stack the Supreme Court and you'll get out of anything.
You got those I just got those piling up like candy.
Yeah, exactly.
John Cassisi, everybody. Yeah, this is this you said it, you put it pretty aptly. This is definitely a bullet that we're taking for our audience, because I do not think anyone should spend time with this. And like you already alluded to, you can just watch this on the on the released DVD if you want to see the first season. But if you really want to spend 12 episodes times 20 minutes worth of time doing that, let me tell you, I can find other things for you to do. Like, if you need suggestions, go clean out your clothes. Go spend time with your loved ones. Do anything other than sit and watch this show, because you will not get rewarded for spending time with fish at all. You'll just be disappointed.
Take that time, go on out to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review. We would love you for it. That's better than 22 minutes spent with fish. Apparently, this was canceled before the 3rd season because Abe Vigoda asked for too much fucking money.
Yep. That, you know what they say, that tracks.
That does track.
Yeah, that's Abe for you. Abe Vigoda really, Abe Vigoda seems like a guy who really misinterpreted what his worth was. And that's fine. I'm not trying to be mean, but I also don't think that Abe Vigoda in 1977 and 78 was making decisions in a way that benefited his career, because he would have benefited from being on Barney Miller the entire show.
Oh, yeah.
This is not, he probably made more money doing this than he did with Barney Miller. But guess what? Barney Miller ran for 8 seasons.
Yeah.
This shit ran for 2. And then Abe Vigoda didn't really re-elevate his career back to a lead in a TV show ever again. Most people my age know him from Good Burger. And most people your age know him from fucking The Godfather, which happened before this. Good Burger happened after this, and Barney Miller happened in between. And guess what? He didn't really do in between The Godfather and Good Burger much of anything after Barney Miller.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. That's not me being mean or slanderous or anything. That's just looking at the facts in his IMDb and his filmography.
Apparently he's going to be in an episode of Tales from the Dark Side that we're going to watch over on our anthology horror show, which is called Midnight Viewing. So if people are looking forward to that, that's season 2, episode 20. So we're going to be creeping up on that one pretty soon here, Chris. I mean, he had a little role in Cannonball Run 2 and The Stuff and a couple other things, but never kind of recaptured the magic of this. Oh, he was in North, one of the worst movies ever made, the Rob Reiner film that ended Rob Reiner's amazing streak of just knocking him out of the park. Rob Reiner is never recovered from that one.
Is that the one with Elijah Wood?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the one where it's like the narration is it Tom Hanks narrates the movie or something?
I want to say Bruce Willis,
or some pretty famous actor, right? But it's like a weird ass movie. No,
it's bad. It's a really bad. Yeah. And it was Alan Zweibel wrote it. He was a writer for Saturday Night Live, so he had kind of a pedigree. But it was. Yeah, I actually saw it in the theater, and I couldn't believe how bad it was. As I'm watching it, I'm just like, this is terrible.
Oh, Abe Vigoda was in it.
Yeah, which is a real shame. And, the other thing that he's known for mostly for me is that website is abevigodadead.com, because that was a joke for years. He seemed to be dead. And, of course, we're saying, back here in the mid-70s, we're just like, oh, he's so old, but he's only not even 50, I think, right? They're creeping up on 50. It's like, okay, yeah, born 1921. So yeah, he was in his 50s. So he was probably my age when Barney Miller started. I feel I look a little bit nicer.
Yeah, you do. And when did he pass away? Just recently, right? In the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So in the last 10 years, yeah. Yeah, I guess the other thing that a lot of people my age would know him from is his appearances on Conan.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is true. Like him and Grady from Sanford and Son. What was his name? Whitman Mayo. Mayo was definitely his last name, but yeah, he was all over Conan as well. Conan seemed to latch on to older stars from sitcoms in the 70s. Did you know that Abe Vigoda's real-life wife, who he married in 1968, and she died in 92, Bernice was her name?
No, it was not.
It was. That's what it says here.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You think he hated his real-life wife as much as he hated Bernice in the show?
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I you know, it's sad because Abe Vigoda, like I said, it seems like a shame that this is where his career went and that this show ended up being what he wanted to do instead of Barney Miller. Because, you know, as much as we don't miss him in Barney Miller, who knows what those seasons would have been like if he had been there.
Mm-hmm.
They might have actually done something with his character and changed his character. There is guaranteed to be no character change if they get his own show like this, and that's the case. His character is exactly who he was in Barney Miller, and that's a problem. If I were to have written this show, and I think we've already talked about this or alluded to this should have been Abe Vigoda and Bernice go to Boca.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like a fucking mall security guard, or he's like a, I don't know, like just something, or he's
Works
nothing.
at a bank or something.
Yeah, or no, yeah, he's like a security guard at a bank, or who the fuck knows, just something, or you know, who knows? Or he's like a landlord. He's like a landlord of like a hotel, or him and Bernice own a bed and breakfast or something, and so you get a little bit of the kind of Barney Miller of it all, where you have weird people coming in that he has to interact with, and he can roll his eyes at weird adults, and then you have Bernice being, you know, her usual self, and I think that would have been a good idea. Like them running a bed and breakfast would have been kind of fun. Like, but no, instead we've got them running a halfway house for teenagers. Okay,
Chris, should I watch Good Burger?
I don't think you'd like it.
No. Okay.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Have you seen those kinds of movies, those Nickelodeon movies before?
No, but I've seen all the House Party films.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. It'd probably be interesting to check out. I mean, Abe Vigoda's in it enough to warrant you checking it out. I just don't know if it's like your thing specifically, but if you're wanting to check it out for Abe Vigoda, he's in it enough to check it out for sure.
Well, Abe Vigoda, hell, I'm all about Robert Wall being in there, and of course Sinbad. You know?
Yeah, well, Sinbad is in there. Sinbad plays, I think, Keenan and Kel's teacher. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other weird thing to think about. Like, when you think about someone who, to contrast, just speaking kind of randomly, Kenan Thompson, someone who went out on his own and had his own career and has made, I think, a case for being like one of the greatest like improv comedians ever because of his tenure on SNL. He's been on SNL for like 15 years. But contrast that with someone like Abe Vigoda, who could not get out of his own way long enough to have his own show actually be successful. And you have someone like Kenan Thompson, who's never really stepped into the spotlight, but has been a team player on SNL for like, God, a long time. It's weird. The decisions that people make and how it affects their careers. Cause I think Fish is honestly the thing that Abe Vigoda did that probably like really hurt his career in the long run. Cause I mean, the way he left Barney Miller was not great. And this show ends up being not great. So yeah, it's just all around, I repeat it, not great.
Yeah. It's a real shame because, I mean, having grown up with Abe Vigoda and being familiar with his work, even seeing him show up in little things like Joe versus the Volcano or The Cheap Detective, some of these like smaller roles that he did over the years, I really admired him and liked him and everything. But this whole adventure of Barney Miller has shown me like, yeah, he was a little greedy. His character was a little one note. He did this really bad spinoff. And of course, I can't say that it's not his fault because he wanted this spinoff. He wanted to go on to bigger and better things than Barney Miller could offer him. Yeah, he really didn't do it though. I mean, he shot himself in the foot. Yeah,
it's a shame. Because again, like I said, I think there's a universe where he stayed on Barney Miller, and him staying on Barney Miller, I think was 100% the right call. So he didn't do that. And yeah, his career suffered for it, and it's unfortunate. But I don't know if there's much else to say about Fish other than avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's one of these things where, unlike when we covered the Kolchak reboot, I think that got a bad rap unfairly from a lot of the fans of the show, just it not being Kolchak, which is fine. It was not meant to be Kolchak the way they wanted it to be. This is completely different. This, in terms of contrasting this with that spinoff, quote unquote, because that's the only spinoff for Kolchak you can really even theoretically talk about. This makes that look like a fucking masterpiece. Like like the La Gioconda, you know what I mean? Like that's like Mona Lisa compared to this. Like this is setbound and bad, and everything that Barney Miller is, this is not. All the way down to having stereotype characters, except in this show, they're all written like stereotypes. And Barney Miller, they're elevated beyond belief. This show is just lazy. And hey, Abe Vigoda got a nice paycheck though, so there you go.
When we come back next month, we are going to be returning to the world of Barney Miller. We're going to be starting the 8th season of the show, the final season of the show, and we will be talking about the episodes Paternity, Advancement, and The Car. And I think we're going to try to get Richard Hatem back on here. Richard Hatem, star and creator of the series Richard Hatem's Paranormal Bookshelf, which I'm listening to on a regular basis. I don't know about you, Chris, but highly recommend it. Even though it's not on the Weirding Way Media platform, we still listen to other people's shows, especially when they're friends of ours.
Yeah, we're not bitter. Why would we be? All success helps all of us. And yeah, Richard's a huge fan of the show. And no, we should have invited Richard or Otto to join us on this episode. That's what we should. They would have. Oh, they would have.
Oh, God, can you imagine if we made Richard watch all 35 episodes and then we get on here and we're just like, yeah, I just watch a couple.
I mean, let's just say he would not deserve it. I'm just kidding. I know Richard's listening. We would never do that to you, Richard. We love you. And Richard knows better. As a fan of Barney Miller, Richard knows better. Everybody I think who's a fan of Barney Miller knows that this show is not great if they've heard of it. And again, I mean, even Otto covers it in his book, which you can find over at Bear Manor Media, which is from the files of the old one too. And you're welcome, Otto. That's $5.
Well, until we come back next month, Chris, what are you working on?
Just podcasting over at Weirding Way Media with you, me, and all of our buddies, doing all sorts of fun stuff. 80s TV Ladies, which is hosted by Richard Hatem's wife, Susan Lambert, and Sharon Johnson. Filmentaries, Twisted and Uncorked, all kinds of fun, exciting audio diversions can be found over at weirdingwaymedia.com, including my weekly movie podcast, The Culture Cast, which I've been doing, Checks Watch, because this is an audio medium, for almost 10 years now. So yeah, Weirding Way Media is where you can go to find all of our stuff, aside from Rankin' on Bond, which can be found on our respective Patreons, patreon.com/culturecast or Projection Booth, where the aforementioned Richard Hatem and you and I talk about James Bond once a month. And yeah, we're just now getting into the Roger Moore years. So if you, as a fan of 70s TV, like 70s James Bond movies, come on and join us over at our respective Patreons and help us out, because you help us and then you get to listen to our fun, exclusive content.
And get new episodes of stuff dropped early. It's fantastic. And if you're over at the Projection Booth Patreon, I try to throw in some of the other shows that we work on here, like a little bit of that Chevy Chase show that we were talking about, where we just released an episode of that all about Under the Rainbow. I think we've got our Modern Problems episode coming up pretty soon, or it might be Dirty Work gets released first and then to Modern Problems. I don't think that we could do a Modern Problems Under the Rainbow back-to-back thing. That might kill our audience.
Yeah. Just like Fish, we might just kill our audience immediately before we even get started. So,
well, thank you so much, Chris, for coming on and talking about Barney Miller. As always, thank you so much to John Walker for our opening theme song, and our closing theme song, I guess, is actually by the people that made the real Barney Miller theme. You're not going to hear the Fish theme. Not very memorable. That was one other thing that they didn't do. Not a really good theme song. You get that rockin' Barney Miller theme song, that crazy guitar, and the horn section just going wild. Fish is just kind of a wet fart.
Just like Fish.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.